Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we are going to do quick and easy meatloaf. So we're not going to do any chopping of any kind. Everything is ready to go. But first, I want to say a shout out to Josh, who sent me a lovely email and thanked me for doing the videos, and he's really enjoying them, which I'm so glad. And also he asked about my cookbook. Well, my cookbook I am hopefully going to have it ready before Christmas. I was really hoping to have it almost done by now and ready to go to the publisher, but I'm still working on this arm. You may have noticed in the last video when I was pouring the vanilla, it took me a little while to get the vanilla into the teaspoon, but it's coming along very slowly, but coming along. So I can't really do a whole pile of typing or anything like that for the cookbook, but it will come. It is going to happen, I promise. We also have the doors open today. It's a beautiful day here in Ontario, about 21 degrees, no humidity. It's just perfect. So if you hear some birds crowing and chirping and all that kind of stuff, that's where that's coming from. So we're going to try a trick today that I've never tried before, but I've seen it on YouTube. And it is putting some bread. Just can be stale bread, can be any kind of bread. Today I happen to have some hot dog buns, and we're going to put it in the bottom of the loaf pan, which I'm making the meatloaf in. And what that's supposed to do is soak up all that grease, so that your meatloaf is not sitting in the grease as it's cooking, and makes it a little bit healthier maybe. So what I'm going to do is tear these in half and just line the bottom of the loaf pan, and then I'll get one more down the side and a half of another one down the side. So there you go. See, the meatloaf is going to sit on a bed of bread. Of course, that'll be thrown out at the end of things, yeah, we're going to see if it works. So, just going to lay this to the side. The oven is preheating to 375, so the meatloaf is going to be in the oven between 50 and 60 minutes. So you check and see if it's done. We're going to put our dry ingredients together first, and the reason I call this quick is because I'm not going to chop onions, I'm not going to chop garlic. I'm just going to rely on things I have in the freezer and in the dry cupboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a 1/4 cup of dried chopped onion. And that's pretty much all that's left in this jar. So I am going to just put all of that, woohoo, lots of powder, in the bowl. Then, just using a regular kitchen tablespoon, you don't necessarily have to be precise measurements when you're not baking. I'm going to put a heaping tablespoon of Italian spice mix, and this particular one has garlic and everything in it, so don't have to worry about that. And then I am going to take just a pinch. Now this is optional. If you don't like heat, then don't do it, but I'm going to put just a pinch of some crushed red pepper flakes, just for a little bit of a something. Then I'm going to take a good pinch of salt and a nice pinch of pepper. I like pepper. There we go. Set that aside. And then I buy the Parmesan cheese in a bag at Costco, and I keep it in the freezer. And as you can see, it doesn't freeze, but it does prevent it from going bad. So that's probably why I use Parmesan cheese in a fair amount of things that I do. So I'm going to take 2 heaping teaspoons and add that to my dry mix. That will add lots of flavor. It will add a saltiness. That's why I just put a pinch of salt into the bowl. And then we're going to take the dry breadcrumbs. Remember the breadcrumbs I put in the freezer? Instead of buying breadcrumbs, I just take whatever bread is left over, throw it in the freezer, and use it when I need it. So I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons. And like I said, it's just a kitchen tablespoon. No need for exact measurements when you're not baking. All right, so lay that aside too. Now, that's the oven preheating to 350. And I got a little clump of breadcrumbs there. So just going to mix all this up. And the reason I'm mixing it all up first rather than just throwing it in the bowl with the meat is because I want it to be really evenly distributed. It really annoys me when people just put, like, there's the spoonful of whatever, there's the spoonful of whatever, and then they try to mix it all about. And I don't see how that actually gets evenly distributed so that every bite has the good, best flavor that it can have. So that's our dry rice. So here's our meat. Now, I purchased from Walmart, actually, the tubes. So this is a pound of ground beef and a pound of pork, but at Walmart and possibly other places, it's already mixed in these 1 pound tubes. So that's what I have here. You can easily do all beef, you can do it all pork, you can buy a package of each and mix it together. You don't have to buy the pre-mixed tubes. You can do all chicken, all turkey, but I would not recommend mixing the chicken and the turkey with either pork or beef, simply because there's different cooking times for different meats, and poultry is good with poultry and meat is good with meat, but I wouldn't really go mixing poultry and meat. You want to be safe. Better be safe than sorry. So what I'm going to do now is mash this up just a little bit. Now you can do this by hand, or you can do it with a big potato masher. I like to do it with this until it's time for me to turn around and use my hands to form the loaf. So what I'm going to do is add, of course, some Worcester sauce. And this is something that I just eyeball, but it's probably a couple of tablespoons. And that adds lots and lots of flavor. And sometimes people will add a bit of milk or something like that. I'm just going to add a drizzle of olive oil, and that'll keep it nice and moist. And we're just going to do a dollop of ketchup. Now, again, I'm not going to put the dollop right smack in the middle. Put it around a little bit so it gets evenly distributed. And then we have 2 eggs that we're going to put in there. I'm just going to do it here first. Make sure I don't get it. I just dropped a shell in there. I didn't have a shell, but then I dropped a shell. Now, last week I showed you too, I think it was last week, how to get the shell out. You just use a piece of the shell, eggshell that you cracked. And it's all good. Get over there. Okay. And another one. There we go. No eggshell. We're all good. And we're going to put that in there. Okay, just going to wipe my hands. There we are. It's a little bit wet from the eggshell. And we're going to mix that in a little bit. Sprinkle all over our dry mixture so that we know it gets evenly distributed. Now we're going to mix that up a little bit, and then we're going to put the rest in. There we go. I'm going to use that spoon for a minute just to get the bits of meat out of the corners here. If anyone's looking to get one of these are great. This one I got from Pampered Chef, but I've seen them other places as well. They're great for mashing potatoes if you want your potato salad to still be a little lumpy, not creamy. They're great for mixing up hamburger meat or any kind of ground beef. When you put it in the frying pan and it's just one clump, and this breaks it up very, very well and very easily. You just put it in, twist, take it out, and it's all good. It's also great for, what did we use it for a while back? It was something different. I don't remember, but I'll remember, I'm sure, in a few minutes. Okie dokie. Take that out of there, just because we don't want to miss anything. There we go. Now, So we get all the sides down there. And we are ready to put this in the pan. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be delicious. There we go. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I'll get the pan back. Yay, so clean hands. Make sure you always use clean hands. And we're gonna kind of put it in the shape that we want. Because I'm not gonna press it into the loaf pan. I'm more or less gonna lay it in the loaf pan. Because I don't necessarily want it to be touching the sides. I want the sides and all to brown if I can get it that way. So, now getting this out of here is going to be the challenge. It's like one giant meatball. There we go. Press it together a little bit. And press it down just a little. I don't want it to be squat in there. There we are. And once I wash my hands, I'm going to drizzle that with a little bit of ketchup. We're going to put it in the oven. I'm going to check it after about 50 minutes. And when it's ready, we'll be back to show you. Hi everybody, back again. So our meatloaf is ready. So this actually took 65 minutes. And when I checked the internal temperature with a thermometer, it was 150 degrees, which is well done for beef and medium for pork. So that's perfect because we got both beef and pork in here. And before I take it out, I want to say that the video was a day late this week because both Barry and I, over the weekend, all day Saturday and all day Sunday, were at the St. John Ambulance here in Guelph, and we are now first aid certified. So yay, that's fantastic. But it did mean the video was a little late, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll forgive us. So it appears that the bread has worked because when I took the meatloaf and when I checked on it, you couldn't see like a pile of fat, you know, around it as it was cooking. So I'm not sure how hard it's going to be to take out, but it does appear that the bread has worked. Okay, cross your fingers. Let's see. This is going to be tricky. Oh, no, I got it. It's all good. Thanks, Barry. That's hot. Now it just came out of the oven. Okay. So it has worked. The bread is on the bottom of the meatloaf. So let's just take that off. Look, all the grease is in the bread. Wow. That worked well. So ta-da! There's our meatloaf. Now, if you wanted this process to be even faster, you could make mini meatloaf, like little individual ones, which basically means you would take a piece of the bread, if you want to use the bread, put it in the bottom of a muffin cup, and then make a giant meatball and put as many as you like in your muffin pans and cook them for between 20 minutes, 25, maybe even 30, depending on how well you want them done. But that worked out great. There's no pile of grease. It's awesome. So put bread under your meatloaf. I hope you give it a go. Enjoy. Bye.